Hey, what's up, everybody? Fred Minnick here, and today I'm going to review one of the more anticipated releases of the year, the Wild Turkey Generations. Now, this box is very nice. You can see it comes with a nice handwritten note here. I'm going to read a little bit to you. This is written in the hand of Bruce Russell. I am extreme. Well, you know what? I won't go through the whole thing because it's actually pretty long. Let's go with the details. 15-year-old bourbon that my dad chose. Okay, so there's a 15-year-old bourbon in here. There's a 14-year-old bourbon, a 12-year-old bourbon, and a 9-year-old bourbon. And they got a bunch of tasting notes in here. I'll just flash this up here real quick. You can screen capture that, read it as I'm holding it, however you want to do it. But bottom line is, this is I'll read you the very first note. I'm excited to introduce you to our newest release, Wild Turkey Generations. It is extremely special to Wild Turkey, my family, and especially me. It represents the first time 3 generations of Russells, my Mimmy, what I call Granddad, my dad, and I have collaborated on in a single blend. We have tried to create a whiskey that captures the legacy of our family and more than 120 years of bourbon making craftsmanship. I like the word craftsmanship when used properly, and that is a fine way to use it there. You can see here it's a nice box, comes with a couple rocks glasses. Although, I got to tell you, I'm not the biggest fan of, including rocks glasses in a box like this. I want a fancy Glencairn or something there similar. So, here's the bottle. Again, this is 9, 12, 14, and 15-year-old bourbon. It's obviously all coming from Wild Turkey. Although, wouldn't that be weird if they're like, what, we threw some Indiana bourbon in here to throw you off a little bit? That would be kind of a bit funny. Actually, no, that would not be funny. That would be sad. It's got a really nice etching of feathers on the back here. The story is on the side. Beautiful front label with 3 signatures. And, of course, you've got your customary language here. The government warning. Don't ever forget that. By the way, that government warning, I read the lawsuit that led to this government warning, like women drinking while they were pregnant, like getting piss ass drunk, falling over, and like their kids being born with needing a bottle of Jack Daniels or Jim Beam in their hand. And at some point in life, you have to ask yourselves, do we have personal responsibility anymore? I mean, for real. Anyway. So, when I say that this is really anticipated, I meant that. And I have had people give me their opinion on this release. I do have a friend in the office right now. Hey, Eric, you want to get your pour here? And we're going to pour that for you over here on the side. Is that your glass there? Yeah. When my friends are in the office, I let them partake. All right. How do I get this glass? The bottle prop is failing me. There we go. There we go. All right, all set. Okay, so this nose is really caramelly, sherry-like. A lot of nuttiness to it, like roasted pecans. It's a floral note in there too. My computer's about to explode, so I need to shut some things down here. There we go. I'm a one-man show, so when the computer starts going, I'm like, I start panicking. But this is also got a nice kind of pumpkin pie nutmeg note here. This is reminding me, the nose that is reminding me of like the desserts of Thanksgiving. But look at that color. Look at that color right there. Anybody recognize that logo? Put in the comments if you recognize that logo. All right. I want to say to those people who have been sending me private messages, texting me saying like, "Oh my gosh, have you had the Generations? You're totally not gonna like it." Um, I don't know if you were trying to like haze me or coax me into giving like a false opinion, but this is good. In fact, I would say this is. I'm going to taste it a couple more times, obviously, but this was, I feel like, made for my palate. Like this is like touching. It's hitting every point of my tongue. You know, when I taste a whiskey for the first time, I'm just seeing how it feels on the tongue. Some people will call that mouthfeel. I refer to it as points on the palate. And I'm getting it. It's lighting up my tongue like a Christmas tree, tickling the roof of my palate, curling up underneath my jawline. This is exceptional with how it feels on the tongue. I'm going to taste it a couple more times to break down the flavors and the finish. Very vanilla forward, but there's some banana here, so like banana, vanilla. I never associate banana with wild turkey. I always associate wild turkey with like a nutmeg, and I definitely got that on the nose, but I don't get nutmeg in this for a little bit down the line. The two key notes here for me are vanilla and banana, so like banana pudding even, with a nice layer of like custard over top or vanilla cream or something. I don't know. Do you put custard on bananas? I think custard's its own different thing. So imagine combining custard and banana pudding together. There's that, and then there's like a vanilla icing over it. Come to think of it, that sounds like an awful tasting note. But individually, pretty damn good. After those three notes, there's quite a bit of spice that comes in, and it's not your typical like black pepper. This is more like New Mexico red chili spice that you would get on something like carne adobada. There's that's the one spice that's really coming to me. That very pronounced chili note that I specifically get when I go to New Mexico, and I also order like red chilies from New Mexico every year, so I have a love for that taste. Um, and then after that, there's a lot of competing flavors here. So I'm having a hard time telling you what those flavors are after the four main ones. I'm going back to the vanilla and the banana note. Those are the most prominent for me. I do get nutmeg toward the finish. Now the finish does not live up to the depth of the palate, and what I mean by that is the initial palate run is absolutely saturated, but the finish is about medium. With something like this, I'd like to see that finish be a little bit longer, especially at 120.8 proof. I would like to see a little bit more length on that finish. I am not getting a long finish here. I'm getting a medium finish, but those flavors are so intense for me. The vanilla, the custard, the banana, and the kind of red chili note. Those four things are so pronounced for me. They're so deep that it almost overcomes the lack of a really long finish. But at the end of the day, that long finish may hurt this particular whiskey in a blind tasting with me, because I look for that when I'm doing a blind tasting. Like, how long is it still on the tongue? You know, if it's not there for an extended period of time, it could falter for me. But then again, you know, maybe that's when it rises. Maybe that's when it shines. When you do a blind tasting, especially with a lot of things like 100 whiskeys in a row, sometimes the one with a really prominent note, like a red chili, can stand out over things that are a little bit more muted, and even if they have a longer finish. I know it sounds insane, but that red chili note in this could make this a real player in a blind tasting, for me especially. That being said, I cannot say for certain that this would make my top 100. This is going to be one of those products that's going to be borderline for me. It's probably going to make it, but I have about 100 products left to taste before I finalize my list, and this would be up there in that upper tier. But you know, we'll see where that final list comes out, where this falls when I taste the remainder that I have in my office, which is a lot. I got a lot of work to do. But if you are a member of Club Marzipan, you're going to get to see the top 100 before anyone else. It's trickling out right now. You can learn more about that in the description of this video. So thank you for tuning in, and be safe out there. And just remember, vodka sucks unless it's being used to clean up the murder scene of a dead cat. Cheers.